Good morning, I'm Sharaad Kuttan and welcome to BFM's Morning Headlines. It's the 12th of December and we start with Sina Harian. There you have it. The Sultan of Selangor's official birthday was celebrated recently and he gave his speech focusing on multi-ethnic society and how we can in some ways live together. But the really interesting story is up here, and that's marginalized in a silent way, or silent marginalization. And it's a story about discrimination against Malay Muslims in the private sector and in some companies owned by or run by non-Bumiputras and non-Malays. Now, this is in fact an echo of a speech made by Khairi Jamaluddin at the recently concluded UMNO General Assembly, which he pointed to a study coming from University of Malaya. And we really ought to look into that study. But anyway, used by politicians and the media's picked it up. Question is, are they even-handed in their discussion of that issue? New Straits Times tries to be clever. You see, it's MCA, because we all know as the acronym of that political party, the Malaysian Chinese Association. Multi-cornered assault, it says. This is, I think, they were really hard-pressed to find a word for A, but it is a multi-cornered contest because these three men are vying for the top post of the political party in question, because the current party president has said he's not going to contest the party polls coming up on the 21st of December. What I take exception to is this line. It says, at stake is nothing less than the MCA's reputation as the vanguard of the Chinese community. I think they lost that reputation some time ago. So what really is at stake is whether they can regain that reputation and in fact do justice for the community. But perhaps the other question to ask is, does the community even see itself as a single community? Perhaps there are different views on many different issues, and no one party could ever be the vanguard of a single ethnic community in this country anymore. The Star has National Geographic's type of headline. It's actually a much more important issue than the headline suggests. It's not the lost treasures of Johor. It's not about kind of doing research on antiquities. It's about the stealing, about the sale, about the way in which our national heritage is being sold quietly on the side by the various parties. So, interesting story there. It's something I would read for sure. The Malay Mail, outcry to whimper. It's all about the KL tax assessment rate hike. The question is, people are grumbling, they're complaining, they have good reason to. Do they actually take that form of dissent to a higher order? And in this case, protest. Formal protest letters that have come into the municipal council are actually much lower than the general feeling of discontent on the ground. So is it just that Malaysians don't know how to take their anger and angst to a higher level of political participation, or is in fact our description of the general discontent incorrect? Big question. Now, I think these next two papers have to be read in tandem. With the Harian, kiosk bank dekat balai polis, meaning putting ATMs closer to police stations, presumably for security. Now check this headline out. Cops in the dock. Yes, 3 cops charged with extorting 67 ringgit and 53 Malaysian sen from an Indonesian motorist. I don't know, maybe the conversion was from rupiah. But at any rate, here you have cops, not some people you want to sidle up to or trust with your money. So there are perhaps rogues in the police force, or there is something else going on in the police force. Now that's a fascinating image there, and that's of course the aftermath of the flooding that's been happening on the east coast of Malaysia. This story headline, Hujah Mat Sabu, is a continuation of a campaign against the past leadership and the claims that they're infiltrated by evil Shia individuals or evil Shia. But what's important to note is that what they use here as proof of his secret identity is public statements that he's made on various issues, including Middle Eastern politics. So how do you figure that? I don't know quite. But I think important to note this week, Tan Sri Hashmi Agam of the National Human Rights Commission, Suhakam, has come out to say there needs to be a dialogue between Sunni and Shia communities in this country, because in many parts of the world, these two communities live side by side in peace, and we can too. Last paper we have is Harian Metro. Now, I don't quite know what to make of this, but that's just, that headline reads, "Too lazy to pray." This is a wedding, and this is Emma Mambong, and she just donned a tudung, so she's looking very pretty. She's still in a tudung, and that apparently is going to win her marks with her public. So there you have it. That barometer of Malay society ends this morning's BFM morning headlines. And the word for today is huja. Huja, which refers to kind of arguments you make in a discussion. For me, it's a proof of a sophisticated mind when you deal with discussions and arguments and not in political assassination. I'm Sharaad Kuttan, BFM 89.9.